welcome back to my channel. Today I am so beyond excited to introduce to you, where are you going? You gotta meet YouTube. To introduce you to Stella Noel. Hi. I wanted to get her in the video real quick while she's relatively happy. She just woke up from a nap, so I might have to feed her before we film the rest of this video, but I just wanted to show you guys how cute she is. If you're following me on my vlog channel or on my socials, you've already met her, but if this is the only place you follow me, I thought I would kind of pop her in the video so you guys can see how precious she is. Oh, big yawn, you're tired already? You just woke up. You just woke up. So I'm not sure how long she will be happy to hang out here while I film the video, but I'll kind of keep her in here so you can see her as much as possible. So yeah, this is actually Stella's 1 month update. This past month has been so amazing, but also so crazy, which is why this is the first time I'm actually getting my act together to film since she's been born. I just filmed my final pregnancy update for you guys, and I'm trying to squeeze this one in too since someone is cooperating. Yeah, you've been so nice letting Mom film. Oh, I know. Are we gonna be grumpy? All right, I'm gonna feed her and set her down, and then I will be back to share all about Stella Noel. All right, baby girl is happily asleep in her bouncer right in front of me, so let's try and knock this update out before she wakes up. So I have been writing down some notes about Stella's first month in my phone for the past month. And so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through them and talk about what life has been like with Stella for the last 31 days. So Stella was born October 18th, 2019 at 8:51 a.m. She was 6 pounds, 6 ounces at birth and 19 inches long. She was a teeny tiny little peanut, even though I had gestational diabetes and we were expecting a much larger baby. She came out super tiny. In my previous video, my final pregnancy update, I shared that at 36 weeks they had estimated she would be 6 pounds 4 ounces, or that she was 6 pounds 4 ounces at the time. And then she came out only 2 ounces bigger than that, 3 plus weeks later. So yeah, I don't think that was an accurate guess, but she is so tiny and so sweet, and I just love her so much. So when she was born, they heard a tiny heart murmur, and apparently that's pretty common in newborn babies, and they usually go away, like they close up before the baby even leaves the hospital, and that was the case with Stella. They just kind of had to do a couple extra checks and make sure that it went away on its own, and luckily it did. She also had to have her blood sugar levels tested, I think 4-ish times or something like that throughout the period. I think just the first 24 hours after she was born, again, because of the gestational diabetes, they wanted to make sure that her sugar levels were, you know, I guess not too high. I think they were afraid of them dropping. I can't remember which way it goes, but yeah, she had that monitored, and every single time they tested her, they were happy with the results, and so she didn't need any like supplementation with formula or glucose or anything like that, so I was very happy about that. So the only thing that we've really, I guess, struggled with, for lack of a better word, is her weight. Obviously she is very, very tiny, and we have had a slight issue with her gaining weight and, you know, making sure she's eating enough, not to where it's ever an actual problem, which is why I don't want to say we really struggled with it. It's just something that we've been keeping an eye on, I guess, for the first couple of weeks of her life. By now, it's not something we're really worried about anymore. It's kind of, you know, resolved itself, and she's doing very well and kind of on her own little curve. She's still a very tiny peanut. But while she was in the hospital, like I said, her first weight was 6 pounds 6 ounces, and then the day after that she was 6 pounds 1 ounce, and then the day after that she was 5 pounds 14.8 ounces. And so I believe the 514 was, she was in the 7th percentile, or no, she had lost 7% of her birth weight, and they don't like the babies to lose more than 10% of their birth weight, and so she was getting up there, but still hadn't passed it. Then we had her first check at the pediatrician's office on that Tuesday. She was born on a Friday, and at that weight check, she was 5 pounds 11 ounces, which put her over the mark at 11% of her body weight, or her birth weight lost. And so because of that, we had additional weight checks at the pediatrician to just kind of make sure she didn't continue to drop, and to make sure she did start to gain some of that weight back from her birth. It is normal for babies to lose weight after birth, but like I said, they don't like it to be over 10% of the birth weight. At her second weight check, which was that Wednesday, the day after, they had us go home, and we were instructed to wake her to feed every 3 hours, no matter what. And they wanted us to supplement with formula. Well, they didn't want us to. They recommended that we could supplement with formula to make sure she was getting, I forget what amount at that time she was supposed to be eating per feed, but they also said that I could pump and give her the pumped milk just so we knew she was getting enough food at each feeding. One of the problems with Stella was that she would constantly fall asleep during feeds, and she still does that, but we've gotten better at, she's gotten better at eating. We've gotten better at kind of, reading her and knowing what to do. So, but in the beginning, it was a little difficult. She wasn't kind of eating enough because she kept falling asleep. And so that after that first weight check, we started really waking her up. We would have to take all her clothes off, tickle her under her arms, blow on her face, tickle her feet, and just kind of jiggle her to make sure she would stay awake for a whole feed. And that was definitely really difficult because she was a sleepy newborn, and so she really just wanted to sleep, and it was really hard to kind of keep her awake long enough to make sure she got a full feed in. But yeah, after that first 24 hours, we went back the next day to see how much weight she had gained, and she gained a whole 3 ounces. She was up to 514. Okay, so I actually see here that I did write down they wanted her to have 1 ounce per feed. And so at the pediatrician's office, they did a weighted feed, I think is what they called it. So they weighed her, and then I fed her, and then they weighed her again. She gained ½ ounce from that feed. So I really wasn't concerned about my milk production, especially since in the hospital I had several people telling me that I had a very good supply of colostrum, and since then getting home, I just really didn't feel like my milk supply was an issue, and it wasn't, because like I said, the next day we went back and she had gained 3 ounces in 24 hours, which we were very happy, and the doctors were very happy about it. They did schedule us for another weight check on that Friday, just to kind of make sure she was continuing on that upward curve, and they didn't want her to go through the weekend without kind of just making sure everything was still going well. So we went back, and she was up to 6 pounds and 1 ounce, which is obviously, again, very good, and they were happy about that. And we kind of graduated from our weight checks at that point, and they said that we didn't have to come back, that she was doing very well, and so we could just wait for a regular 2-week appointment after that. However, they did still want us to wake her every 3 hours to eat, just to, again, make sure that she continued to gain weight at a good pace. It was definitely not fun, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. She has always been a very good sleeper, and so even though we were having to wake up every 3 hours to feed her, she would go right back down, and so that made things a little easier for us, that we could kind of be guaranteed 3 hours of sleep between each feeding at least, instead of worrying about if she'd go back down after we woke her up. So we were very grateful for that. And so we continued to do that until her 2-week checkup, when we actually went to go see her pediatrician for the first time. With the weight checks, we just saw, I think, nurse practitioners and physician's assistants for those appointments. But we saw our pediatrician at 2 weeks, and everything was looking great. She was, how much did she weigh at her 2-week appointment? She was 6 pounds and 9 ounces at her 2-week appointment, which was on November 1st. And so she had officially gotten over her birth weight, which is another kind of milestone that they look for with newborns. So we were very happy to see that. And let's see how long she was at that appointment. She was 19 inches long, so the same as her birth length. And at birth, she was in the 32nd percentile for height, but then at that 2-week appointment, she dropped down to the 4th percentile. So she was very teeny tiny. She still is very teeny tiny. And let's see, so for weight, for her percentile, she was in the 11th percentile at her 2-week mark. And since then, I have been taking her weight myself, since I have the Hatch Baby Grow changing mat, which is also a baby scale. I take it every Friday, since she was born on a Friday, so every kind of week milestone of her life. And so when she was 3 weeks old, she was 6 pounds 14 ounces, which is in the 7th percentile. And then on the 15th, which would have been her 4-week mark, so just before she turned 1 month old, she was 7 pounds 3 ounces in the 5th percentile. So she is definitely a teeny tiny peanut, but she is continuing to gain weight and just get bigger. I was also a really super tiny baby at birth, and so I think it's just, genetic, and she gets that from me. And I love how teeny tiny she is. She's just the cutest little peanut ever. But again, since we were kind of expecting a baby on the bigger side because of my gestational diabetes, we had pretty much stocked up exclusively on 0 to 3 month clothing. If you had watched my baby hauls, you already know that's kind of, what we did. We had some newborn clothing that we had kind of just purchased throughout the pregnancy, a piece here or there, and then a couple pieces that we had been, gifted at our baby shower and stuff. But for the most part, we really didn't have that many newborn things because everyone, kept saying, oh, don't waste your money on newborn clothes. They grow out of them so fast. So I think we had maybe like 4 newborn size sleepers when we got home. We were not prepared for clothes for such a tiny baby, and since she's probably going to be in newborn clothes for quite a while, she is 1 month and still wears newborn and not looking like she's going to grow out of them anytime super soon. But yeah, luckily my mom came by and brought us a whole bunch of newborn clothes, so yeah, we were really grateful for that, but we were just caught off guard by surprise what a teeny tiny little peanut she was. Let's see, what else? She lost her umbilical cord at 6 days old. She had her very first holiday at almost 2 weeks old. It was Halloween, and we celebrated with a cute little photo shoot that Miles and I had been planning the entire pregnancy since we knew she'd be here before Halloween, and it turned out so super cute. I absolutely love it. I shared some of the pictures from that shoot on my Instagram, so go over and check that out if you're interested. It was just absolutely adorable, and it was super fun celebrating a first holiday so soon after she got home, and also kind of a more low-key holiday. It wasn't one that required, going out to like a big dinner or something, and it was just, something we could stay home and celebrate, as a teeny tiny brand new little family. And yeah, it was just kind of the perfect start to holiday celebrations and to kick off the whole holiday season, because baby girl was born right before the holidays. So yeah, got lots of fun holidays coming up, which I am so excited about. She had her first bath when she was 2 weeks and 5 days old, and she was not a fan. We have one of those little baby bathtubs that we tried to start using, but she just really didn't like it, so my husband actually ended up getting in the tub with her and just kind of holding her while I washed her, and that seemed to work much better. And so that's kind of what we've been doing, and just getting in the bath with her so that she's, still kind of cuddled and warm, and we can kind of like hold her in the bath water to keep her, nice and snuggly. But yeah, she definitely does not like the baths, and she just gets really upset. She doesn't like having her clothes off as well. I think she gets cold, and she just like always hates having her clothes off, and has hated it since she was born. She also had her first bottle on November 10th. I'm not sure how old that would have made her, but we're using the Nano baby bottles, and they're specifically made for breastfeeding babies. So I have been using the Haka silicone pump to kind of catch my letdown on the opposite side whenever I'm feeding her. And sorry, I have like an eyelash or something in my eye that has been tickling me. There we go. So yeah, I had been doing that for the first couple of weeks of her life. I think it was the first 3 weeks, and then between weeks 3 and 4, we gave her first bottle. But I had been using the hot pump to collect my letdown and kind of store up around 3 ounces of milk each day, and had been collecting that in the freezer. So I have a nice little stash of milk already built up. And we knew we wanted to introduce a bottle, one, so that if, for whatever reason she ever needs to be without me, she would still be able to be fed. And also my husband really wanted that bonding experience, and it was important to him, and so we always knew that we were going to introduce a bottle at some point. But I do plan to exclusively breastfeed. My goal is to make it an entire year of breastfeeding, so I won't ever have to switch to formula. My thinking is, if she would need to be switched to formula, why wouldn't I continue to give her breast milk until, she wouldn't need that substitute anymore? And so that's kind of what my goal is. Who knows if I'll make it. I know breastfeeding can be a very difficult thing, and it can kind of change. So far, I've been pretty lucky. I would say very lucky with our breastfeeding journey. It definitely wasn't, a super smooth road. We had some issues, and she had to learn what she was doing. I had to learn what I was doing. We used a nipple shield for a little bit, but luckily she figured it out without it as well. So overall, it was kind of an adjustment for the first week or two, but since then it has been smooth sailing and just really easy. She has good latch, and so I consider that very successful and very lucky, because I know a lot of women have much harder times and much bigger issues with getting breastfeeding to work. But That being said, I know things can change, so I'm kind of, still crossing my fingers that I will be able to make it to that year mark, but I'm also realistic and know that that just might not happen, and I'll kind of have to take things as they come. But anyways, again, with how small she was, we weren't prepared to diaper her. So if you've been following me, you know that my husband and I had been planning to cloth diaper, and so we had built up a stash of one-sized pocket diapers from Alva Baby, and that's kind of what we were planning to use. Those, they advertise that they can start at 7 pounds, but I really don't think that's accurate. They're pretty big, and even with the newborn hack for cloth diapers, they were still way too big for Stella. I mean, they were just like covering half her body, and so they just weren't gonna work. So she was in disposables for the first couple weeks of her life, and then we decided to invest in a newborn size cloth diapers, again from the Alva Baby brand, because we knew that she would be using them for quite a while, and she is, again, 1 month old and still on the smallest of the small snaps, and so I think we will definitely get our use out of these diapers. But we weren't able to start cloth diapering her until November 11th because of that reason. We kind of took the first couple weeks in disposables to figure out what we wanted to do, if we just wanted to do disposables until she could fit into the one size, or if we wanted to go ahead and get a stash of newborn cloth diapers. And we decided, considering how many diapers we went through in just those couple of weeks and how small she still was after those first couple of weeks, that it would be more than worth it to just go ahead and buy those cloth diapers. So we did, and it's just the cutest little thing seeing those cloth diapers on her. I absolutely love it. I'm so obsessed, and I'm so excited that we actually have the newborn diapers. I love them. They're so cute. Okay, and then going back to her stats, as of the 18th, she was officially 1 month old. That was Monday, and this is Wednesday that I'm actually getting to film this because, like I said, filming things with a newborn baby, not the easiest thing. But she was 7 pounds and 4 ounces on her 1 month birthday, which is the 4th percentile, so still a teeny tiny peanut. And then she was 20.5 inches long, which is the 19th percentile, so she is definitely getting longer, but still staying super slim. She is starting to kind of chunk up around her chin, though. She's getting a nice little baby chunk around there, and I'm so excited. I can't wait till she gets a little more fat on her. I just love little squishy, chunky babies. They're so cute. All right, so I think that's kind of all like the milestones and statistics that I had to share with you guys. So now I just thought I'd kind of chat with you about, what Stella is like, and just kind of this month as first-time parents and all that fun stuff. Okay, so the first thing is that she is so crazy strong. She can already like lift up and hold up her head like a champ. It is just so crazy how strong she is and how early she started lifting up her head. I mean, I forget exactly when she started doing it. I don't think she was doing it right from birth, but I would say within a week or two, she was already starting to lift up her head a little bit, and now she can really like lift it up and actually hold it up for a good amount of time. And she can, if she's facing one way, laying on her tummy, she can lift it up and turn to the other side and lay down. And yeah, she has an unbelievable amount of control and strength in her neck, and I'm just very impressed by that. Also in her legs, she has very strong legs, and so she loves to like stand up, so I can already like obviously hold her weight for her because she's still only a month old. She can't really hold her weight, but she will push up on her legs and definitely like bears some of her weight on her legs, and she'll just kind of stand up and then sit down and then stand up and sit down, and she loves doing that. But it's just so crazy to see how strong she is already, and I feel like that's pretty early. So we are very impressed with our super strong baby. And she still falls asleep during feeds, but she is also a phenomenal sleeper. So after her 2-week appointment, we were given permission to stop waking her to feed overnight. The pediatrician still wanted her to eat every 3 hours-ish during the day, but overnight we could let her sleep as long as she wanted to. And that first night, she slept 7.5 hours for her first stretch. I think the next night she slept 7 hours for her first stretch. It can vary since then, but she normally has a super long stretch. We'll put her down at 9, 10-ish, and then she'll sleep for her longest period after that, and then she'll wake up, she'll eat, she'll get changed, she'll go back to bed, and then sleep for another couple hours. And the first stretch is normally somewhere between 5.5 to 7.5 hours, and then after that, she'll sleep for like 2 to 3 hours between wakes. But yeah, it has been so nice. So I honestly don't feel like sleep deprived at all. I think we got so incredibly lucky. She basically sleeps through the night. For what a newborn can do, that is sleeping through the night. Last night, she only woke up one time. I think it was at like 5:30 was the only time she woke up last night, and then she woke up at like, I think it was 10 or something like that. I woke up for the day, so we got very lucky with that. During the day, like I said, the pediatrician didn't want her to go over 3 hours between feeds still, and that hasn't been an issue because she normally eats, for a while she was doing every like hour and 20 minutes, I would say between 2 and 3 weeks, and then around like the 3-week mark, she started stretching out to an hour and a half to 2 hours between feeds. So at this point, she's pretty solidly around 2 hours between feeds, and she'll eat, she's always pretty consistently ate between 10 to 15 minutes per feed, and we just do one side at a time per feed, and yeah, that's been working really well. Like I said, she has been gaining weight, and so yeah, we're very proud of her for that. But yeah, again, the whole sleeping through the night thing, I could not ask for a better sleeping baby. So a few of the things that she really, really loves, and will calm her down if she's fussy, she really likes hard pats on the tush and on the back. So if she's, you know, just fussy, sometimes in the evenings, if she is up a little too late, she will start to get fussy. And so before we figured out that she just needs to be put down to bed earlier, we were kind of struggling with kind of like a witching hour, I guess, in the evening. But yeah, she really likes, you know, hard pats on the butt and hard pats on the back, and that just really instantly calms her down. If things get really, really bad, she loves being put in the bouncer on high vibrate and being rocked super hard. Like, this baby loves being bounced, and she likes, you know, hard bouncing if you're holding her and she's upset. I was the same way as a baby. My parents had to constantly be bouncing me, and we have figured out a nice little hack for her. So she also loves baby wearing, and so I put her in the baby carrier, and then I will bounce on my birthing ball. We were gonna deflate it, but then I discovered that it's a super easy way to get nice big bounces for her, and so I'll just kind of put her on my chest and then bounce on the birthing ball, and she will usually be asleep within 2 to 3 minutes. So that's definitely an awesome hack. If you also have a bouncy baby, try that out because it is awesome. And so, like I said, she also loves being baby worn. She's definitely a little Velcro baby, which I absolutely love. I definitely resonate with attachment parenting, and that's something that I plan to, kind of focus a lot of my parenting around. And so I love that she loves snuggling and being close to me. We contact nap pretty much exclusively during the day. Sometimes she'll nap in, we have like a bassinet swing attachment type thing, so it's still a safe sleep space, but it can be, out in the living room with us. But for the most part, she really just naps on me during the day, which I absolutely don't mind. The baby carrier also makes it super easy to do those contact naps while still being able to get stuff done around the house, like, laundry and dishes and all that fun stuff. But yeah, for the most part, she will sleep on my chest, and it's just like the best feeling in the world. There are no words to describe how amazing it feels to have your own little baby sleeping on your chest. It's just like the best feeling in the world. And I also super love doing contact naps during the day because my husband and I decided that co-sleeping just wasn't for us. We're both very heavy sleepers. We have a dog that sleeps on the bed. We couldn't imagine sleeping without, like pillows and covers and blankets and stuff. We just weren't comfortable with it. I fully support making your own choice for what is right for your family, but it just wasn't right for us. And so she is in a bassinet overnight, and luckily she sleeps very well in her bassinet, like I was saying earlier in the video. But I still kind of want that, close bonding experience of sleeping with baby, and so I love that I can still get that for her during the day because she just sleeps like a rock when she sleeps on me. And if I do try and put her down, most of the time she will wake up immediately, no matter how sound asleep she is during the day. And so yeah, I still do love that I get that experience of having my baby sleep with me, even though we have chosen not to co-sleep. All right, and I think that is all I have to share about Stella Noel's first month. I just still cannot believe that it has already been an entire month since she was born. It went by in the blink of an eye, and I have even been very conscious about just trying to stay in the moment and appreciating every second with her and being very present. And it just still completely flew by. It just kind of makes me want to cry, but it's also just really fun seeing how much she has already grown and changed, and kind of getting to know her little personality over this past month. It's just crazy, like, to think about when she was brand new and we still just didn't really know her yet, and thinking about how much, you know, we have gotten to really know her over this past month, and, you know, her little quirks and what she likes, and yeah, all her little skills that she's already picked up. It's just, it's been so amazing watching her grow. One new thing that she has actually started really doing the last week or two-ish is she has become much more alert and much more awake during the daytime. She doesn't sleep a lot during the day because she does sleep so much at night. She'll just kind of take half-hour cat naps here and there. But between naps, she has become so much more alert and kind of has her eyes open and is looking around and can focus on things so much more. And she started to be able to really track objects with her eyes over the last week and, you know, make eye contact more. So that, again, has been super fun to watch. But yeah, I still cannot believe she's already a month old. It seems like just yesterday that we were in the hospital with this brand new baby, and it's just flown by. But yeah, I just have loved every single second of it. I just feel like motherhood is absolutely my purpose in life, and I'm loving it. I feel so complete and so happy with her, and yeah, I'm just so in love with my little baby. But I'm gonna stop being super mushy and wrap this video up. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing all about Stella's first month, and please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. I'm gonna be sharing a whole lot more motherhood and baby related content over the coming weeks. So if you're interested in that, I would love to have you around. And other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.